Show me a move. Good news, everyone. Don't you little giddy when you see onions have legs.
Welcome to 20th Century Boy.
Mi chiamo es Michele della Radio, and this is the inside of Mi chiamo Mind.
I just decided to do it in Italian this week. Sometimes I run out of ideas. Sometimes I have heaps of ideas of what I want to do to start this podcast. It just comes in waves. I thought it would be funny to do one maybe next week or the week after as Yoda. Like, welcome, 20th Century Boy. This is Radio Mike, my name. Inside of my mind. This is. Well, now I'm not. Now, obviously, now I can't do it, and I'll have to do it another day. But that was just my Yoda impersonation for you. How are ya? How are ya? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, good. Sorry, that was just me asking myself how I was because you guys can't answer. Hey, guys, I've got some really, really, really good news for you that you're all going to love. And that is that today, on the day that this podcast is out, is my 25th birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind. I really appreciate all the birthday wishes that I assume, because I'm obviously I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 11th of December, but I assume that when this is out and you're listening to it, it's now the 12th of December. Well, it will be. But actually, now this could be really confusing because there's a possibility, like maybe you don't get to this until the 13th of December and you send me a message on the 13th saying happy birthday. And I'm like, nah, man, it was the 12th. Or maybe, like I said in last week's podcast, maybe you're listening to this podcast in 10 years. So it's 2029 or 2030. And you're like, oh, it's Mike's 25th birthday today. And you send me a message in 10 years saying that happy 25th birthday. And I'm just like, mate, that was 10 years ago. I'm 35 now and I live in a different country. Possibly. You never know what could really happen. But yeah, so I guess only send me, well, it'd be interesting. Like, actually, you know what? Whenever you listen to this, if you listen to this on July 7th, 2020, just send me a message saying, hey man, happy 25th birthday. And that way I actually know when everyone's listening. So as soon as you listen to this, DM me on Instagram with a message saying happy 25th birthday. Intern Mike, you look like you have something to say.
Yeah, like, because it's your birthday, we just wanted to organise, like, a little present for you, which, me and my mum and Ed and Mike have gone out to the shops to, organise for you. And we thought a lot about what you might want, for your birthday. We thought long and hard about it, and to be honest, we couldn't really reach a decision, so Ed and Mike ended up making the call for us, didn't you, Ed and Mike?
Yeah, and, well, first of all, Mike, happy 25th birthday. I hope you have a fantastic day. You deserve the best because you're awesome. You're the best guy I know. So, 25 years of Mike is absolutely great, and it's, hoping for 25 more, even 20 more would be great. Oh, what, you think I'm only going to live till I'm like 45? You don't think I'll even make 50? No, I'm sure you will, but I just want to, you might not. You could die tomorrow. You could die you could die today when we're recording and this podcast might not even come out. Oh, thanks, Senator Mike. Well, anyway, what'd you get me for my birthday? Well, I went down to JB Hi-Fi and went with Siri and I said, hey Siri, what's the one thing that every kid wants at the moment? And obviously Siri's very up to date and she recommended this product and, well, here it is, Mike. Happy birthday. Is this a PSP? A PlayStation Portable? Yeah. How happy are you to have one of those? Well, I'm not at all. That's a terrible gift, Editor Mike. Those came out in like 2004. That's like 15 years ago. I had one of them growing up. I haven't touched it since I was like 15. I definitely don't want that. You can give it to the salvos or something. Ah, well, Siri said that it was, one of the best things going round. Right. Well, that's yeah. I definitely don't want that. I don't even know what I have one. I don't know where it is, but I wouldn't bother finding it because I don't need it. So that sucks.
Yeah, I tried to tell her to the mic that PSP is like really old, but it's actually really awesome. You can get like Sonic the Hedgehog and like Ratchet and Clank on it, and it's awesome. And what other games are there? Oh, there was that game. There was like Grand Theft Auto Chinatown City or whatever the fuck that was called. That was cool.
Anyway, guys, I think we're going to move on from this, but thanks for making this sort of one of the worst birthdays ever so far. Oh my, well, did you want us to take us back? We've got the receipt. We can definitely take it back and get you something else. No, that's fine, guys. I'll keep it. I'll try and play it a little bit. I'll see what. Maybe you can keep it in turn, Mike, and you can do like a games review segment of games on PSP.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thanks, Mike. You've made this the best birthday ever.
Oh, is it your birthday as well?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Wait, so does that mean you're 15 now?
Nah, I'm still 14 because it wouldn't be as funny if I was 15. It's just my birthday, like, it's my birthday. I don't know how it works, but whenever it's your birthday, it's also my birthday, but I'll never not be 14. I'll always be 14 on this podcast no matter what. So, yeah, happy birthday to me. Happy 14th birthday.
Yeah, well, anyway, guys, yeah, so it's my 25th birthday. Am I having a quarter-life crisis? Well, someone said to me the other day, oh, you must be having a midlife crisis, and sort of like what Ed of the Mic just said, I was like, do you think I'm only going to live till 50? But I'm not having a quarter-life crisis because I had one like 2 years ago, so I guess I was 23 then, or 24, well, let's say 23. So if that's a quarter-life crisis in 20, 40, 60, 80... 3, 6, 9, 12. I'll be 92 when I die, which is that's a great innings. So I'm looking forward to that. But no, I'm actually feeling really good. In fact, I feel like I'm feeling like the best I've ever felt in my life. And I feel like really, like I feel confident. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling really good. And I'm looking at like options moving forward in terms of work and everything like that. So it's really cool. I'm feeling excited that I'm 25, but I'm also like, shit, like I've been single, more or less single for 6 years. My last relationship ended when I was 19. Super weird. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm feel like I'm sending mixed messages through this, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. And thanks to everyone. This podcast has been one of the best parts about being 24. This podcast has been awesome. I think this has been my favorite thing that I've done this year. But I wanted to just talk about like all the stuff I've done this year. Like my year of being 24 has been really busy, and I'm gonna put up like a video on Instagram. I did a video earlier in the week where I on Instagram where I like was like pretending to be discovering Crazy Frog for the first time. And if you don't know who Crazy Frog is, Crazy Frog was this like stupid cartoon character in the mid 2000s that sung like did remixes of songs with like Crazy Frog sounds in it. Here's the main Crazy Frog song. So, and I pretended, this guy's going to be massive, and I did that video and people seemed to think it was really funny, and that's cool. And I actually decided in 2020, one of my goals is that every week I want to do like a skit or a skit video like that on Instagram, maybe even twice a week. And I want to start doing YouTube stuff, but I don't know what that looks like. Obviously, like I'm not sure if I'll be working full time or what I'll be doing next year. So like this is all subject to change. But one of my really good mates from school, Dan, Radio Dan, welcome to the radio family. Oop, the fader that plays that sound effect is not on. There we go. He's really funny as well, and I really want to work with him and try and get one just Instagram video out a week, or maybe two. So that'd be really cool. So yeah, there's that. And I've done them in the past, and yeah, I really like doing them, and I just want to like try and build that thing, build like that profile kind of thing. But the other thing, so being 24 like was a massive year for me, and you guys obviously know all about it and have like supported me, and it's been really cool. So, you know, I with Jack, I recorded and released an album of 8 songs that we wrote, you know, mixed and mastered together with our producer Yuri, and put them out, which has been one of the coolest experiences of my life. Everyone really likes the song Ave Maria, which goes like this.
Ave Maria, la bella to mia, you're making me freer, you're making me feel so. Ave Maria, la bella to mia, you're making me freer, you're making me feel so. Ave Maria.
And I think I've spoken about that before, but it's like, it's someone, I think it was Radio, I've got to find this DM that someone sent, because they said it was like an absolute earworm. Anyway, whoever that was, welcome to the radio family, who said Ave Maria is like a great song, and it's an earworm, because it totally is. There was also one from Radio Your Beanie Boy, welcome to the radio family. He said, forgot to say, holy heck man, Release the Sounds is by far my favorite album of this year. I love the punky sound, the humor. I've been listening to it ever since its release. I love the message of the Instagram song, very much relate it to myself. Favorite songs would have to be Ave Maria, the Instagram song, and Pants Up. Ave Maria is such an earworm. It was you. 10 mic points. And that was one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. And like, we have an album now, and we want to do like a write. I've started writing. Like I've got 3 songs in the works, but I also, and I don't want to like jump the gun on this, but I've also been writing songs for like another music project I want to do, which would just be me on an acoustic guitar. And I record this podcast in my dad's garage. And I want to do this. I'm thinking of doing this, just music guitar project for fun, and put it up on Spotify and call it Live from My Dad's Garage, and just do maybe 10 songs, short songs with really easy chords that I can just record by myself and try and mix them. And it might not be amazing quality, but I just thought it would be fun to do something like that. So that's something I'm thinking of doing in 2020 as well. But yeah, so the Release the Sounds was a big part of this year, and it's crazy. And there will be another album, hopefully in 2020. If it is in 2020, it'll likely be late 2020, because obviously it'll take a long time. But I've have 3 really strong ideas that I really like for songs that would really fit Release the Sounds that Jack likes. Jack's been trying to write a few songs as well. So I want to do a proper full-length album. I think the album we put out was like 26 minutes long. Which is probably more of an EP. But anyway, there was that. I also produced tons of episodes of Willosophy, Will Anderson's podcast, this year, which was also super fun and super rewarding and super engaging and just awesome. And I'd highly recommend checking those out as well. And I'll speak a bit more about that to lead into something pop culture related in a sec. But that was so awesome for me as well. It's just been such a great journey working on that podcast and getting to do all the cool things I get to do on it and meet the cool people I get to meet. And yeah, it's really been such a pleasure to do that podcast. Obviously as well, the Hamish and Andy podcast, we did 40 episodes of this year, which was another blast. I got to be on air with them in the Boiling Water Catastrophe, the Super Smash Bros. Challenge. There was one more other typing challenge, and yeah, fuck yeah. That's my dream. That's my dream, and I'm so grateful. And I guess sometimes I think when I'm like 50, when I'm possibly the year I die, I'm going to listen back to this podcast and just remember how I feel. And I guess if I have a message for my 50-year-old self, it's just like, good work, man, because you did your dream job. Like, you wanted to work on Hamish and Andy, and you did, and that's really cool. Alongside that, I also worked on the new TV show Perfect Holiday, which has now gone to air, which is amazing. Worked on the Hot Breakfast on Triple M with Eddie Maguire, Luke Darcy, and Will Anderson. And I worked on the Carrie and Tommy show for some time, which was great fun, as well as the Finding a Unicorn dating podcast, which a few of the female listeners of this show have said they listen to. But dudes, get on it as well. It's really, really funny and crazy, and it's totally different to this content. So yeah, I've done a lot. There's probably a bit more than that as well, but I just wanted to take a moment to reflect on all that and really like enjoy that and yeah, like know how I feel about it, because I'm really proud of like what we've achieved. But predominantly, as I said, this podcast, 20th Century Boy, was like a massive thing that I decided to do at the start of this year. And I couldn't have imagined that like a lot of the stuff that's happened on this podcast, I just never would have thought would have happened when I started it. Like 1-800-GET-FUCKED. What a fucking shit meme that is. And now I own the phone number 1-800-GET-FUCKED. And on Hinge, on the dating app Hinge, which is my dating app of choice at the moment, you can put in 2 truths and a lie. So like you put in like some information about yourself and you put in 2 truths and a lie. And I put in this is actually what's in my 2 truths and a lie, and you guys can actually guess what it is. I think it's pretty obvious though. So the 2 truths and a lie. I lived in New York for a year as a stand-up comic. I have met the man who wrote the theme song to Play School, and I own the phone number 1-800-GET-FUCKED. And a few people have actually been like, why do you own like the phone number 1-800-GET-FUCKED? So that's really cool. Really, really cool. Even like the story arcs, like the Disappointment Judman thing is awesome, and Disappointment Judman is such a like good sport around that, and the Radio Superstar Test and Mike Points and like Siggy Mike and the Editor Mike storyline where Marianne, his wife, left him. Like, no offense, Editor Mike, but I never thought that would happen. I just like when I started this podcast, like you weren't even a part of it. Yeah, and look, I'm really glad that one of the saddest and most heart-wrenching, devastating moments of my entire life was able to become light entertainment for various young people around Australia. I'm really glad that I could help in that way, Mike. No worries at all, man. And Intern Mike, Intern Mike didn't really exist before this year, and it's just, I don't know, you've really come into your own this year, man. Yeah, no, it's just been really fun. I also like did a bit with Luke and Lewis still, and I love doing that, and yeah, all the collaborative stuff that I got to do was great. And I'm going to put up a video today on my birthday that hopefully is kind of funny and reflective, but yeah, so that's kind of where I've been at. In terms of Willosophy, the podcast, we did an episode the other day, like I think probably a week ago from recording this, with this guy called Briggs. And if you don't know who Briggs is an Australian hip-hop artist who is also a comedian and also a writer. We'll get to that soon. Here's a bit of his song. He did a version with Triple J where they cover songs, and he did it with Paul Kelly with his group AB Original and Paul Kelly, that was like a commentary on he's an Indigenous Australian, and it was sort of like a commentary on Indigenous rights in Australia. Here's a grab from that.
Sending the clowns, they're black facing, they're locking our cousins, they're locking our brothers, but they ain't leaving the station. The date's changing. In the middle.
I'd highly recommend watching that. Just type in Briggs like a version and it'll come up. But the most interesting part about it that I was actually hoping that Will would bring up, and he did, and it was that Briggs was actually a writer on Matt Groening's newest TV show, the Netflix series Disenchantment. And Briggs was like, he wrote an episode and he was part of the writing team for that show. And I found out on that podcast because Will actually said, Will said he's seen every single episode of The Simpsons. He's never missed an episode, till today. He still watches the new episodes of The Simpsons, and he said he really likes The Simpsons. And I was really surprised because I didn't know Will was into that. And obviously Briggs is a hardcore fan of The Simpsons, and he's sort of in a way, him getting a job writing on Disenchantment is kind of like me working on Perfect Holiday, growing up loving something and then getting to work for it or work on it. And I related to it so much because he actually talked about that. He's like, how do you prove yourself when you've been a fan of something for so long and then you're asked to actually come and work on the thing that you've loved so much for so long, and how difficult that is to, grapple with yourself inside of you. Because I felt that with Hamish and Andy all the time. I still do. Like, this is something that I loved growing up and was a massive part of my life, and now I'm part of it. And how can I live up to the emotional attachment and engagement that I had with that show? Like, how can I deliver that? And yeah, that's something you wrestle with a lot. But one of the coolest things about it was that Briggs said that, when Will and Briggs were talking about the new episodes of The Simpsons and how they're actually like not that bad, and they're not as bad as everyone says they are, even though the show has changed. I went home that night and I got out my downloading machine and downloaded a few episodes from the newest season of The Simpsons, and I watched this one, and it was called like Todd, why art thou forsaken me, or something like that. And like, I just wanted to talk about it here because it was genuinely one of like, it was a really, really good episode of The Simpsons. Like, it was just a really, not only funny, but also like really endearing and heartwarming episode in which, and it's something that hasn't ever been explored on the show before as far as I know, which is it looked at the way that Rod and Todd, Ned Flanders' children, responded to the death of their mum, like when it happened like 15 years ago or whenever Maud Flanders died in the show. That's never been addressed before, but this was an episode in which Todd, the younger child, starts to have like questions about why his mum died and why, God, the person that's supposed to be this great person that his dad loves and he's been brought up in a really Christian family, why did his mum have to die if God was like looking out for them? And, you've never really seen, I don't think there's ever been an episode in which in one of the Flanders kids has been a central character before now. And it was just a really, really good episode. Here's a little grab of like the kind of vibe.
Mommy was so nice.
And she still is, Rodley Dodley.
How do you know? Have you heard from her?
Oh, no, sir. But faith is believing in something without proof.
It was just a really good episode that explored like that feeling we all people who were born into a religious family start getting around that age. And like Todd starts to just completely question his faith to the point of renouncing it at church. And like it's really hard for Flanders because he's so afraid of his son denouncing God and stuff. But Todd says, well, I don't believe in God because if God is who you say he is, mum wouldn't have died. And it was heart-wrenching, heartwarming, but also really funny, like a lot of really funny jokes. There's a few times where Ned breaks the fourth wall, he'll be, it's almost like a commentary from the writers where Ned will like say something to his children, be like, oh, if you do this, you're practicing the sin of gluttony. And then he'll look at the camera and like shrug his shoulders, like almost like the writers are saying like, oh, we don't know, is this something that someone religious would say to their kids? But it was like it was a really good episode. Like great gags in which Flanders is showing the boys videos of Maud when they were of their mum when they were kids, and then Todd will say like, Mum, if you're still there, if you're watching over me, give me a sign. And then the video cuts and Homer's taped over the video to like film himself doing something. It was really good, and it made me want to like watch this new season because I just genuinely thought it was a really strong episode, and I'd highly recommend checking it out. It was really insightful, really informative, and really good. If you haven't watched any episodes for a while, watch this one at least. I think that'd be good. Just one reminder before we move on. Intern Mike, did you want to jump on the mic?
Yeah, just a quick reminder to everyone that I'll be doing my summer break mini podcast series over January. So, like, I'll be talking about everything I'm doing over summer. So, like, and they'll come out on this feed weekly. So, like, for example, I'm just trying to think, like, maybe, like, I during summer, like, sometimes I eat, like, lots of ice cream, so maybe I could do like a review of like the best ice cream, and then the next week maybe I'll like go to like my friend Jordan's house, and we'll just like play PS2, and like sometimes we like compare dicks just to make sure our dicks are both growing at the same rate. But Jordan's like a year older than me, so sometimes his dick's a bit bigger than mine. So I could talk about that. Don't talk about that. No, I won't talk about that. And like just stuff like that. So that's starting on that's starting on January 2nd, which I believe is a Thursday, and the first episode will be out then. Thanks, guys. And on to merch as well. You can still get merch at radiomike.com.au. Thanks to everyone who's bought some so far. But the place that prints the merch is having inventory issues. So if you haven't received it yet, just hold on. They'll definitely come before Christmas, but I wanted to apologize for the delay to all the people who were waiting on shirts and stuff. There's still stickers and posters, signed posters available. All right. There is something we really need to do that we missed in the most recent episode that came out on Monday, but don't think that means we have forgotten about this. And, well, I'm really excited. This is going to be really special. Fuck, I always do that. I always press the rhyme crime button instead of the real button I'm supposed to press. Like, that wasn't an accident. All right, let me set it up again. I'm really, really excited for this.
Yeah, g'day everyone, it's Radio Nacho Cheese here. G'day Radio Mike, it's Radio Nacho Cheese here again. Radio Nacho Cheese here again. Radio Nacho Cheese here.
He's Radio Nacho Cheese, and this is his weekly update! That's right, it is finally time for another edition of Radio Nacho Cheese's weekly update. Now, to get you up to speed, and if you're new to the podcast, first of all, welcome. Welcome to the radio family as well. Radio Nacho Cheese for the past 10 weeks or so has been the best friend of the show. He has called the phone number of the show, 1-800-GET-FUCKED, every single week, giving us a lovely update, timing off, telling us the date and time of his call, and wishing us all a very happy weekend. And we've all loved hearing from Radio Nacho Cheese. And after a little bit of negotiation, we decided that Radio Nacho Cheese will have a live interview on this podcast, replacing his weekly update this week. He didn't want he's very protective of his identity, Nacho Cheese. He does not want to be recognized. He doesn't want the fame. He doesn't want the publicity. He does it for the love. So he is coming on as Radio Nacho Cheese, not as his real name. And please don't ask him his real name. He doesn't want to be asked about that. And we're going to give him a call right now. And this will be the first time I'll ever interact with Radio Nacho Cheese. So head to the mic, dial the number in. Let's do this.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, big man.
Is this who I think it is?
Yes, I believe so. If you're thinking this is Nacho Cheese.
I'm looking for Nacho Cheese. It sounds like it's Nacho Cheese.
Yeah, he's speaking.
Hey man, can you do me would you actually do me a massive favor?
Yeah.
You know how like usually we play like an opener to your segment that's like it's Radio Nacho Cheese and this is his weekly update.
Yep.
Well, this is the live edition. Do you want to actually say like, "Hey guys, I'm Radio Nacho Cheese and this is my weekly update"?
Yeah, I can say that for you if you want.
Fuck yeah, man. By the way, it's Radio Mike. I assume you know that.
Oh, yeah, no. I only go by Nacho Cheese in the Radio Mike universe. So,
All right, well,
yeah.
All right, Nacho Cheese, take it away.
G'day guys, this is Radio Nacho Cheese and this is my live weekly update.
Nacho Cheese, it's an absolute pleasure to finally have you live on this show.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, I know you like to keep your identity a secret, and that's totally fine. Can I ask,
Yes.
where are you from?
Melbourne, Australia.
You grew up in Melbourne?
Yeah, I grew up about 30 k's out of Melbourne.
And I've been meaning to ask you for some time, because you're an unsung hero of this podcast. You are
Thank you.
an absolute superstar in my eyes. And what made you decide that you were going to do a weekly update to me and the radio family every day?
Well, I have thought about this because originally I just did the first one because you got the number and I was up early on Monday morning. And even though the week technically starts on the Sunday, most of us feel like the week starts on a Monday. So I thought I'll just throw out a bit of positive vibes. And then I realised no one's going to hear it until Thursday at the earliest, except you. But I felt like I was giving everyone have a good week, even though obviously they hear it very late. But in my eyes, I just thought, I'm up early, it's the start of the week, let's throw out positive vibes. So then I did it, and then you liked it, so I just kept doing it.
Yeah, great. And so I guess what I want to know a bit more about you. How old are you?
Well, if you ask Mark Hoppus from Blink-182, no one would like me at the moment.
So
I'm 23.
You're 23.
So, yeah.
And here's another question. Have you been listening to the podcast from day one, or are you a late adopter? Like, how did you discover us?
Well, I used to listen on a Sunday to the Luke and Lewis show. I've always been a fan of Lewis. I've known him for his videos since I was like in year 10, so like 7 years ago or some shit. And then, so I've been following him for a while, and then you would pop up and things, and then, I don't know, I feel like maybe like May this year or something, I started listening to your podcast every week from afar. I never contributed, never wrote anything, but I've always just been listening since about May.
That's awesome, man, and thank you so much. Why do you choose to be anonymous? Why do you want to be Radio Nacho Cheese as opposed to like Radio Dave or like Radio Tim?
Yeah, I don't know. The first time I just made up something in my head and just that's what came out. So I wanted it to be somewhat funny, but not too unrealistic where it was just like a completely stupid name. I wanted it to be somewhat like it could be someone's nickname, so I just went with it. And that's it. So then I had to create an email as well when I emailed you.
So the email address you email me from is you've made that specifically for this purpose.
Yeah, I've only ever emailed one person, and that's you. So.
Do you think we will ever get to know the man behind Nacho Cheese?
I think the only way is if, well, one of the ways I feel like my identity will come out. I have I don't know if to me, I feel like my voice is a bit weird for a 23-year-old male. So I feel like if I meet someone if I went to one of Luke or Lewis's live shows and tried to say g'day to you, you might recognize my voice. And I'll probably introduce myself as my real name. And then you might go, are you Nacho Cheese? So I feel that's how I'm going to get unstuck.
Right.
But I don't know.
Were you at Luke and Lewis's Melbourne show that they just did?
No, I wanted to go, but I had a 21st on. Otherwise, I was going to go, and I would have said hello as my normal person and seen what happened. But
you do have quite an iconic voice. I feel like every single person who listens to this show wants to know who you are.
Yeah, I know, but it's just not the time, unfortunately.
Can we start? Could we, as the radio family, start a game in which, in your life, the chances of this happening are so slim, but in your life, if what you described just happened, so you go up to someone and talk to them, right? Mm-hmm. And if they in their mind realize that it's you, right?
Yes. Yes.
If they say to you immediately, if they say to you, I've just been nacho cheesed, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Will you pay them $1?
I will pay them $1 and I will bow. I'll do both.
So, all right. So the deal to the radio family, if you ever, because that's the thing, it's risky because if it's not you, it just becomes really awkward, right? So so to the radio family, if you're very, very confident, nearly certain that you are speaking to Radio Nacho Cheese in face-to-face, you are not allowed to say anything except, I've just been nacho cheesed. And if he is nacho cheese, he has to pay you $1.
Yeah, and I will bow.
And he will bow. All right, so that's agreed?
That's fine with me.
Okay, I have one more question for you, Nach, if you have time.
Yes,
And thanks for being so generous with your time.
that's okay.
As you know, next week is the editor of this podcast, Ed of the Mike's wedding. Are you aware of
Yes.
that? How are you,
I'm on track with that, yes.
how do you feel about that?
I think it's beautiful that he's had his heart broken in 1 year and, it's an unconventional relationship, but to spin it all around and have found love. I mean, the man's an inspiration to us all, I'd say.
Yeah, well, Ed of the Mike actually is a big fan of you, and if it's okay, I wanted to put him on the mic onto the phone to you because he has a favour to
chuck him
ask.
on.
Yeah, okay, hang on one sec.
Chuck him on.
Ed of the Mike, get over here. Oh, g'day, Radio Nacho Cheese. Absolute pleasure to finally speak to you face to face, or voice to voice, I suppose.
Yes.
Hey, obviously next week for my wedding, we
Can't wait.
do have a celebrant, but I would love for you to be the person who says, "You may now kiss the bride." Is that something
Well-
you'd be interested in recording for us?
Yeah. If that's what you want, mate, that's what you'll get. It's your big day. I've lost the words. I'm that excited for you, mate. So, yeah, I'll do it.
All right, so thanks, Ed of the Mike. So we're gonna have a normal the celebrant I can reveal is actually Reporter Mike, who is a recurring character on this show.
Yeah.
He's the celebrant. However, there's actually a clause in the Australian wedding contract that anyone can say you may now kiss the bride.
Yep. Yeah.
So Reporter Mike's going to do the celebrancy, and then we're going to play an audio recording of you saying you may now kiss the bride. Is that something that you're happy to do that?
Yeah. I can just throw that in on Monday's update if you want, and
Good
or
call.
I can do a separate one, whatever.
Maybe
all good.
just do it in the update, and I'll cut the audio.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can do that.
Hey, Radio Nacho Cheese, you are the best friend of the show, and I officially want to say, please take for this 100 mic points.
Shit, man, that's building up now.
Yeah, it's building up. Hey, man, we'll speak to you tomorrow, next week at the wedding.
Yeah, no worries, man. Bye.
Oh, wow, ladies and gentlemen, that was absolutely great. Radio Nacho Cheese, the best friend of the show, and he will be part of Out of the Mike's wedding next week, which we do have to talk a little bit about in a sec, but that was awesome, and I thank you so much, Radio Nacho Cheese. You are the best friend of this show, and everyone, just send a thank you to Radio Nacho Cheese. His email address, because as he said, he's made an email. Radio Nacho Cheese's email address is nacho do cheese CHEEZ like Cheese TV at gmail.com. Send him one. Just send him an email and let him know how much you respect what he does for this show. I think he really deserves to hear it. So just say, Nach, Mr. Cheese, Mr. Nacho Cheese, Nachi, Nacho, love what you do for the show. Thank you so much. Please send him an email, and Nacho Cheese in next week's weekly update. Let us know if you got any emails. I'd really appreciate knowing that you felt supported. One more thing before we talk about your wedding next week, Out of the Mic, which I know you're very excited about. Hey, a while ago in this podcast, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I actually was trying to buy the domain radiomike.com, which was owned by some American dude who hasn't updated the website since fucking 2001. And he then tried to make me pay him $10,000 to buy the site. $10,000 US, mind you. So however, I don't know, 16K Australian dollars, which just as a flag, if anyone ever wants you to pay that much money for a website, don't do it. They're trying to rip you off. So I sent him an email back saying, hey mate, the most I can spend is about 150 Australian dollars, which is, I don't know, maybe $200 US. And that was on October 3rd. 2 months later, I thought he just ignored my paltry offer compared to his. 2 months later, he actually replied on December 6, 2009 at 2:49 a.m. I'm not sure what that is in US time. But get this. And I genuinely don't know if he's taking the piss or not, but he said this. Hey man, sorry for not responding sooner. Yes, that number seems high, I understand, especially when you convert it to Australian dollars. However, it is a great domain and you'll be able to use it for a lifetime, while I won't be able to once I sell it to you. And in my mind, I'm like, mate, you clearly haven't fucking used this shitty site since 1992. Give up on it. No one cares. And he goes, 150 Australian dollars is nowhere near what I had imagined. How about I lower the price to about 8,533 US dollars, which is 12,500 Australian dollars. And then he has the audacity to suggest, he says, one thing you could do is a crowdfunding campaign for it to get the money together. What do you think? Best wishes, Mike. And I just want to say, Radio Mike, Radio the other Radio Mike, first of all, you're not welcome into the radio family and you have a lifetime ban from the radio family and this podcast. Lifetime ban! Fuck off, you dog. Like, you know, mate, that no one would ever pay that much money for a domain. And the fact that you're actually, like, quoting me that much money for a website you clearly don't use is absolutely ludicrous. But that's cool, man. I totally get it. So I actually replied to him. And in the reply, I just said this. Hey, mate, I'm definitely not paying you that much money, and no one would ever pay that much money for a domain. Good try, though. And then I said, here's another idea. Why don't I purchase the domain the guy who owns RadioMike.com tried to make me pay $10,000 for RadioMike.com? And when you go to that domain, it has a picture of you that, when clicked on, redirects to your shitty, unused website. That way, I can use that domain for my stuff, but also cross-promote your stuff. Mutually beneficial. Wanna go halves? And then I say, no, but really, I'm not interested in buying the domain anymore, but I appreciate you bringing the cost down for me. I'm selling my merch on another domain now. T-shirts selling for around $30 Australian, but if you'd like, I'll give you a special price of $1,000. Thoughts? Sincerely, the superior Radio Mike. And I want everyone, if anyone, I was going to tell people to hack his website, but don't do that because that's, no, I don't care. He can have this stupid website. I don't want that website. I've got radiomike.com.au and that's, to be honest, a better domain. You'll be able to use it for a lifetime. I won't be able to use it at all. That was not an American accent, but it's just how I imagine he speaks. Like, mate, get over yourself. Anyway, that's done. We have one more thing to talk about, and that is the fact that Ed and the Mike is getting married next week, but his best man, Siggy Mike, is in prison. Do we have an update, Mr. Editor? Yes, Mike, I do have an update on this. Obviously, there was quite a large issue with Siggy Mike being in prison. He has been there for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and he is doing well. I would say to send him letters. I wouldn't know where you could send them to. Wouldn't have a fucking clue. The problem was that Damo, obviously Siggy Mike's in custody. We couldn't come up with the amount of money to get him out on bail, so he's waiting there till his trial. Damo, one of his mates from the footy club, was severely injured by the shit explosion that Siggy Mike did at the Bucks party. And he was in intensive care at the hospital for some time. But I have recently found out, I know obviously if Damo died, which was looking likely for a time, Siggy Mike would have been up on murder charges, which is quite a big deal. Yeah, it's a very big deal. Yes, it's a very big deal. I've since spoken to the hospital and the police, and I have some really good news for all of you. No way. Oh, what is it, Ed and Mike? Well, I'll have you know that Damo has made a full recovery after having an arse transplant, because some of the shit from the shit explosion Siggy Mike did went up Damo's arse, which got infected, so he had to have an arse transplant. And, well, I've actually got someone on the phone line right now who'd love to explain a little bit more. Siggy Mike, are you there?
Oh, fuck, I'm finally out of prison. It's the fucking best thing in the world. Fuck yeah. Oh,
God, fuck, you can't even smoke in prison, it's fucking sick. Oh, I'm so fucking glad I'm out and can fucking come to your wedding. Yeah, Mike, fuck yeah.
Oh, Sticky Mike, you're out of prison. What happened? How did this work out?
Oh, well, it's fucking so easy. So, obviously, Damo made the recovery, but he still needed the butt transplant. And I made an agreement with Damo and his family and his lawyers and the hospital. And I just said, Damo, I'll transplant you my butt if I don't have to go to jail anymore, because he made a full recovery. And he was just like, yeah, man, if you give me a butt, because I've got quite a good butt. My butt's like, I've got a tight butt. It's like, it's not like bulky or big or anything. It's just got fucking good butt. You know, like I have a good ass.
Yeah, no, I've seen that actually. You've got, like, when you wear jeans, like, your ass, like, it doesn't stand out, but it's not, like, invisible. Like, you've just got a nice ass, I guess.
Yeah, no, I've got a fucking good ass. So, well, I don't anymore, because I've fucking undergone surgery. I've transplanted my ass onto Damo's ass. Now, I actually don't have an ass, and if I have to shit, or I just have, like, it's really, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't have an ass anymore. I have no ass, which is fucking weird.
That's so weird. So you've done an ass transplant and now you don't have an ass at all. But in exchange for that, you don't have to go to jail and can attend Editor Mike's wedding as his best man next week. All of which sounds totally ludicrous and slightly impossible.
I know, how fucked is it? Who would have fucking thought you just have to give up my... Because I barely use my ass. I use it for shitting and sitting, but that's all I fucking do. So, like, that's it. Like, my ass, that's it. I'm out of jail. I'm going to be at the wedding. I'm just processing all the paperwork now with the hospital, like just signing off all the dots on the T's and stuff. So, yeah, I'll be there next week. Fucking so keen to get back in the podcast, get straight back into 2020. It's going to be fucking sick. Oh, fuck, I'm so good to hear you. Oh, is Intern Mike there?
Yeah, I'm here, Sticky Mike. That's really cool about, like, not having an ass. Like, it's sort of like how in Star Wars Episode 5, Darth Vader cuts off Luke Skywalker's arm, and he doesn't have an arm, but you don't have an ass.
Yeah, it's fucking exactly like that. Oh, it's going to be great. I can't wait for the fucking summer and just being free again, because prison's fucking shit. I have to come on and just talk about prison. Just have to talk all about my time in prison, what I did. You got to meet... I met this guy. His name's Hunter. Met this guy Hunter in prison. He's got to come on the podcast. He's fucking craziest fucking guy. He's like murdered like 6 people. Oh, I met this other guy, Danger's, oh fuck, he's the most fuck guy ever. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I'll see you next week at the mic at your big wedding. Fuck yeah!
Well, that was extravagant, but that's awesome news. Guys, that's great. The gang's all going to be together for the last episode of the podcast. Well, the last official episode, then there's a Christmas special that comes out on Christmas Day. But the last episode of 20th Century Boy for 2019, the whole gang is going to be back together again. How fucking awesome. I cannot wait. Editor Mike, can you wait? I absolutely can't wait. I get to marry the love of my life. I get to be surrounded by my 3 best friends in the world, Radio Mike, Intern Mike, and Siggy Mike. And I just get to be a happy man again, that nothing can go wrong. I've forgotten all about Mary Ann, and there is no way she could ever throw a spanner in the works of my life again. I do not think that I will ever think about Mary Ann, my ex-wife, again, because I love her. I love Siri, so much. And I'm just so excited to marry Siri and start a life, maybe have a couple of robot human kids together. Could you get Siri pregnant? Like, is that possible? Yes, we've spoken to a doctor. We could have a little Editor Mike Siri hybrid running around, you know, half robot, half AI, half man, you know, how it works, who knows. But yes, I couldn't be happier, and thanks to all the radio family for all the support you've given me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, Editor Mike, you're getting emotional. Yeah, just, you know, getting married again, and, you know, just, I'm really happy, Mike. I'm happy. I'm here with my grandson. I'm here with you, and I'm just really happy. Siggy Mike's gonna be there. My beautiful wife. I can't wait for my life. Well, that's great, guys. That's all we got time for this week. Make sure you tune in next week for Editor Mike's wedding, the season finale of 20th Century Boy for 2019. There will be a Christmas special, as I said. Intern Mike's summer break over the summer, and back in 2020. This has been awesome. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a review of the podcast if you can. It's like been a year now. If you can leave a 5-star review and maybe some text just to get it pushed up. Want to grow the podcast as much as possible next year, and that'd be awesome. Would love to hear from you. Radio.Mike on Instagram. It's Radio Mike on Twitter. RadioMikePod@gmail.com. 1-800-GET-FUCKED. 1-800-GETFKD. 1-800-438-353 is the number to call. And that's pretty much it. Tell your friends about the podcast. If you like the podcast, tell your friends. Tell them how cool it is, and it's got lots of fun segments and stuff. Next week's going to be massive. Nacho Cheese's thing, the wedding, Siggy Mike's back. I think I've said this. Keelan will be there. He's doing a Shrek fact for the thing. It's going to be great. My name mi chiamo Michele della Radio, and this is the inside of my mind.
Oh, end of the podcast, this is. I'm Yoda.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.